Hello friends, Kevin here, and Pride has started in Montreal. And I thought, what better way to celebrate this awesome weekend than to take you down Sainte-Catherine Street. Loud. And I figured, what awesome way to celebrate this crazy weekend than just going down Sainte-Catherine Street. Folks, we have our own Rainbow Road here. And there's actually a ton of things happening here. They have a gigantic bus where they're gonna have DJs, and there's no shortage of events happening in this area. Another thing that I love about this city, especially this area of the city, is it has some of the best bars. If you're looking for an insane night out that's affordable and a ton of fun and amazing music, this is the area you want to be in.
Around 2008 to 2011, the city started closing off St. Catherine to cars every summer, and then Claude Cormier came in with the genius Air Libre art installation, and they used to have these giant pink balls hanging around, but those things kept blowing away in the wind, and it was just causing an absolute mess until they were finally taken down.
These are some of the events happening this weekend, from the 31st to the 4th, and then it keeps going, obviously. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. There's no shortage of things to do.
What's wild to think about, though, is how much things change here. They've added so many new condos, a lot of stores have closed down, but one thing that still remains is a lot of the awesome bars here, and the party culture around this area is absolutely fantastic. Also, I think it's one of the best places for you to grab a hotel because, one, it's a little bit more affordable than standing right in the heart of downtown, and it's totally walking distance or accessible by public transit. When I first moved deep into the city, this was one of the areas that I lived in back in the 2000s. It was the ultimate place to hunt for music gear or underground merch. I used to come here just to get like patches for my jackets, or if I needed a Megadeth band t-shirt, I'd be able to pick one up here. A lot of the shops that sell those like bootleg goods are still here, but what's amazing with all that is just overlaps with the queer community and the local alt metal subcultures at the same space. And I was part of that scene where, you know, you'd literally see me and my friends in full battle vests with heavy metal patches grabbing a beer right alongside with drag queens heading in for sound check. There's a place over here on the left that we're coming up on. It's called Sky Bar, and it's actually where I spent one of my birthdays. Absolute banger of place, super affordable. They got VLTs if you're into that sort of like gambling, but this place is just, it's awesome music. They have a bunch of different rooms for every single different genre of music, and they got pools upstairs, which I'm sure aren't sanitary, but fun nonetheless. And honestly, some of my favorite memories just lie in this neighborhood. I'd be walking around St. Catherine, just looking for a quick drink. I'd probably end up at Bar La Date and just singing my heart out to some karaoke, getting absolutely buzzed because the pictures were just so unbelievably affordable, and these places get packed wall to wall, and the vibes are absolute magic. It didn't matter if somebody is a trained vocalist at these karaoke bars or completely off key. The moment anyone stopped and was brave enough to put their name in the book to get up to sing, they were absolutely hyped up every single time they went on stage. And everyone screaming lyrics to absolutely every classic pop anthem together in unison is just pure, unfiltered warmth in the LGBTQ community. No judgment, no pretension, just genuine joy. And everybody had each other's backs. And that's something that I love so much about this area.
So Fierté Montréal, or Montreal Pride, runs from July 31st to August 9th, with the peak celebrations taking place over the main festival weekend from Friday, August 7th to Sunday, August 9th. And basically, there's just a bunch of community days.
At the moment, what you can expect, as you can see here, is that St. Catherine has transformed into an open-air community fair. So kiosks line the street representing sports leagues, health resources, LGBTQ plus businesses, and like just little small pop-ups of people like selling goods. So local artisans. Just if you walk the village, you'll see a bunch of cool vendors just popped up just for the weekend. And if you come out around August 7th, starting at 7:15, at Olympic Park, they're doing a soirée 100% drag and major outdoor concerts. So one of the largest drag expos in all of North America, hosted by Quebec drag icons like Barbada and Rita Baga. It's just amazing local drag talent alongside with international stars from various RuPaul Drag Race franchises. And then Sunday, August 9th, starting at 1 p.m. along René Lévesque Boulevard, stretching 2.1 kilometers from Metcalfe all the way to Sainte-Catherine Street, around this area here. They're doing the Pride Parade. So the centerpiece of the festival, featuring hundreds of floats, marchers, community groups, and performers. And this year's theme is Shine Together. And then at 2:30 p.m., there's going to be a moment of silence. Coordinated minute of silence to honor those that lost to LGBTQIA plus violence and HIV/AIDS. And like I showcased before at the start of the walk, the Village Hub has a ton of outdoor stages. So all week there's going to be live music, DJ sets, dance showcases, comedy nights. There's the Rainbow Market, like I just showed, and the Village bars along St. Catherine Street, including Sky, Bar La Date, St. Sulpice, Complex Bourbon, are running extended terrace hours with special guest DJ sets and post-parade parties. There is no shortage of things to do in the city in August, especially combined with the Takuthon and Pride. There's just so much. There's so much to do. It's a ton of fun. The summer's not over yet. It's just getting started. And just so to give you a heads up, the street level reality of the Village it's got a distinct texture to it. It's gritty, it's alive, and carries a visible contrast between its festive nightlife and complex social challenges. There's a lot more cops around this time of year, which is a good thing, because it does get a little bit gritty. There's a lot of graffiti, social vulnerabilities, but it's all looked after here, especially during the Pride Week, so you don't have to worry too much. But, be safe out here.
One of my favorite spots in the entire city, Pizza Palace and Empanadas, $4 a slice. They got a big bottle of Frank's Red and some mayo just hanging on the counter, and some of the best empanadas you can get in the entire city. Then there's Le National, Itaewon, and then Piano Bar La Date, an awesome karaoke bar. This place rips.
Despite the raw, unvarnished edge to the neighborhood, it's still got inclusive energy. It remains deeply welcoming, energetic, and free of, judgment.
Yep.
It's purely community driven here. And in the response to concerns raised by local residents and business owners regarding the street safety, like I said, the cops have been patrolling a lot more, especially this year. Foot, bike patrols, and they got mixed response teams. So specialized psychological intervention teams have been hanging out alongside the police to assist unhoused individuals and de-escalate non-violent situations, because that does happen a lot in this area.
The bathhouse,
general
G.I. Joe
rule, just be safe.
Bar stock.
And this will always be one of my favorite walks, because walking down St. Catherine East just hits differently. I used to live around here. I have fond memories of this place, and more importantly, more than any other stroll in Montreal, it's not trying to be pristine or sanitized. It's just a good time. Also, people watching at its absolute best, because between the terrace crowds at Sky and the local characters that you'll encounter, there's also street performers and community members. There's zero pretense. It's vibrant, loud, a little chaotic, and very human. Then to my right is Cabaret Maddo, a legendary nightlife pillar opened in 2002, and it's Montreal's iconic drag queen, Maddo Lamotte. The Cabaret is renowned for its vibrant 1920s inspired decor, and I've had a ton of awesome nights just going in there to see shows. Had a bunch of buddies perform, and this weekend they're doing a Taylor Swift Eras Tour theme night, and that seems like a lot of fun. One of my favorite restaurants in the city, St. Hubert, on the right, next to the Rainbow TD Bank over here. And this is the area I was telling you about of where I would buy my metal t-shirts and my back patches for battle vests. And you can see a lot more people have set up shop around here. A lot more different artists have pulled up on this side. It's more lively here. This is also where you have Olympia, where comedians go and different artists. The Sex Pistols are playing here, actually, coming up in the next couple months with Frank Carter instead of Johnny Rotten. That's cool. Also, I used to be a chef, and I used to cater to a lot of the artists that would play here, like Sean Paul. I had to bring him a bunch of hot dogs once. And Guar. I got completely splattered in blood watching Guar here at Olympia. Crazy cleanup crew. And here on the left is two of my favorite spots to shop for t-shirts and patches. As you can see here, I'm just gonna let this guy pass. Sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to get you in the shot, but they got some Insane Clown Posse t-shirts. They have Hardcock Cafe t-shirts. You know, just funny, goofy bootleg t-shirts. Anything you can find there. It's fun. We're getting closer and closer to Barriew Camp Station. That's going to eventually come up on the right. But walking down Sainte-Catherine East today is definitely hitting me with bittersweet nostalgia. And it's impossible not to notice how much the commercial strip has just shifted over the last decade. Many independent boutiques, niche metal, alt clothing shops, vintage stores, and mom and pop spots that defined the 2000s era when I was living have just vanished. But actually, a lot of the anchors and the icons are still holding it down, and that just makes me happy. Seeing Cabaret, Maddo, Sky Bar, La Date, and just like the resilient terraces that are just there. Outdoor patio culture is still a thing. The neighborhood heartbeat is as strong as ever, and there's a bunch of plans. The city of Montreal has rolled out like major urban renewal initiatives for Sainte-Catherine East to transform it into a more permanent pedestrian first corridor, expanded green spaces, tree pits, and like updated seating and seasonal light installations area. And I can't wait to see what the city does with it. Also, coming up on the left over here is the sports bar. Awesome place to get pictures, watch sports, community events, all in this area. There's an after-hours nightclub also here as well that just slams some of the best sound systems in the entire city located here. And then the sketchiest McDonald's in all of Montreal is here on this corner. If you want to get into a physical altercation, if you're down to scrap, the McDonald's behind me is the place to go. Don't go there at night. Just avoid that place like the plague. It is just constant. It's just, do not go to this McDonald's here. It is a scrap heaven. And this is also where they have the Fierte Montreal merch booth area, and it is so affordable. I'm saying like everything's less than $10. T-shirts are $5, hats are $5, totes are $5. Everything is just super accessible. They're doing such a great job keeping everything at a fair price point. I kind of regret not picking up one of these hats. I'll probably head downtown a little later this week and probably pick up one of those hats. And maybe one of these prints, because this guy here is selling these wonderful art prints. And I think having like Cyclops and Wolverine kissing next to my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet is very, very suiting. Them with Ryu makes up my team comp. It would be Wolverine, Cyclops, and Ryu.
So it is currently, let's take a look at the time. It is 1:19. There's not a lot of people. It's supposed to start raining at 2 p.m., but I'm sure it's gonna get more and more lively as the hours come along. Plus they're doing some live acts over here on stage. Looks like they set up a little cocktail bar over here. Shots are $5? Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's go take a look at the pricing real quick, see what they got. All right, beer's $9.50, cans $10.75. I'm gonna try out the Zoom feature here. Oh, that's not bad at all. Wine's $11.50 a glass, sangria pitcher $37. That's quite affordable. I had an absolutely incredible time walking through the village and reminiscing about the olden days of living out here and going to all these wonderful bars and eating so good. For more food, travel, gaming, more, give us a subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one where we do something else fun in the city. But it's a good way to start a day. Nice little walk. Bye for now.